Hi, welcome to the analysis and the summary of the poem which is known as Song of Lawino. If you need analysis and summary in Swahili language, please you can go to the description section and there you shall see the link which may take you directly to the video which have summarized and analyzed the poem in Kiswahili language. Onto this video today, we are going to analyze the poem of Song of Lawino in English language, and we shall start with summary of the poem and then follow with actual analysis. The poem was written by Okot P Biteck in the year of 1979, and you can see that if you look on the history background of Okot P Biteck, he was born in Gulu town in northern Uganda in 1931. He is a Kori tribe. His father was a teacher at Gulu Mission Center, and his mother was a composer and a singer of Akoli songs. So Okot got his education from Gulu High School and later on King's College Budo at Uganda Government Training College. There he was trained to be a teacher, and so later on after that he went to Bristol University, and there he had taken education diploma, and then also pursued to University College of Wales, upon which it is known as Aberwatch and Oxford University. He was once a choir master and a footballer. He was also interested in oral literature. That's a historic. That's a background of our publisher, or of the publisher, or maybe you can say the poet of the particular book. And also, when we enter directly into summary of the poem, before that, let me first ask you, or maybe beg you keenly, to subscribe our channel, because that's the only way you can show support to what we are doing. Our channel is called Mr. Tinga Tinga Africana. Please don't forget to subscribe. And the summary may start and go as follows. Song of Lawino is a dramatic monologue which reveals two characters, that is Lawino and her husband, who is known as Ocol. And these two people are in disagreement. Both Lawino and Ocol belong to the Akoli tribe of northern Uganda. They represent an African husband and an African wife. Ocol is educated while Lawino is not, and also Ocol is Westernized. So a part of being educated, he is also Westernized. He has embraced the Western ways of life. So in a section one, or maybe in the first section of the poem, you can see that Lawino tells us how Ocol insults and looks down upon her and her ways of life. Also, she explains that her husband, that is Ocol, looked down upon his family, clan, and all black people and their traditional ways. So Lawino in this first part reacts to Ocol's insults by mocking him with his Western ways, so as a way of reacting against the bad behavior of looking down upon others, of her husband, of looking down upon her relatives, the family, and the colleagues blacks. So she also inserts the Westernized way of life. So on the second part of this poem, you can see Lawino introduces us to Clementine, the city girl who is her rival for Ocol's love. So they are struggling, or maybe we may say like this Clementine is a concubine to Ocol. So in the second part, Lawino introduces us to Clementine, the city girl who is rival for Ocol's love. She despises the way Clementine resorts to artificial ways of beautifying herself, like using cosmetics, wearing wigs, and also sliming. So she thinks she can compete with Clementine by welcoming her husband warmly and by preparing a good meals for him. And also we see a lot of explanation about which despises Clementine. So on the second part, we are being introduced to the humanization behavior of her husband and how he just give much prestige to the concubine than to his wife. And also on the first stanza, remember that this person also looked down upon his family and the clan people, his clan, his relatives. So you can see this guy, the kind of life he is living. Also in the third part of the poem, you can see Lawino presents attitude towards her attitude towards European traditional dances, which she thinks are meaningless, immoral, and unhygienic. They encourage people to embrace and kiss in public while dancing at zero distance, and hence ignoring the respect for relatives. In addition, they dance in darkness with the dancers drunk, and also smoking and wearing improper dresses. Lawino prefers the traditional dances, which she believes are meaningful, requires skills, and they are danced in broad daylight and in the open space. So she thinks African traditional dances are respectable and way far meaningful than those Western ways of dancing. So on third part, we are being introduced to that thing. And also in the fourth part of the poem, we can see that Lawino describes the games, ornaments, and other complements of the Ocol use. She remembers how beautiful and skillful she was when she was still young, and how she used it to be admired by all boys, including Ocol, her husband, because of her singing and dancing skills. This is presented in fourth part of the stanza. And in fifth part of the stanza, you can see Lawino condemns the Western hair treatment, that is Western hairstyle, and also wearing of wigs and maybe handkerchiefs. She sees that there is no reason for aping the European in their fashions and styles, because what is good for Europeans may not necessarily be good to Africans. So she look like she explains the emotions like we shall keep up with our ways of dressing and appearing, especially on hair dressing style. You can see she shows like it is not important for us to ape or maybe to copy or maybe to follow the Western ways of life. And so she also describes the beauty of traditional hairstyles and the adornments of body and the way they attract young men. So she explains how remaining traditional for a girl may attract men more than how today's girls likes to appear in a more westernized way. And also in the sixth part of the poem, you can see Lawino confesses her ignorance of how to eat with forks and spoons. She despises the tastelessness of the tin bee and the frozen foods and the cooking stoves of the white man. And also she describes how every young Ocol girl is taught to look after the home and to prepare very good delicious meal. She also describes how nicely her mother house is organized, the thing which may easily not be found to a westernized girl. And if you go to the seventh stanza, seventh part of the poem. The poem is very long. The poem has very many pages. So here I've prepared the summary. And also, so in the section 8, you can see like in section 7, you can see Lawino compares the Western ways of telling time by counting seconds, minutes, and hours for clocks with the traditional ways of observing nature or by needs felt by human beings. So you feel like it is afternoon if maybe hunger has came. You have felt you are feeling hungry and you see like it is afternoon now, you see, or maybe some other traditional ways of telling time. So she compares the ways westernized people use to count seconds, minutes, hours, but she compares with some traditional ways of telling time. She makes fun of Ocol for becoming a slave of time to to the extent of being unhappy for restless and blames him for treating his children and relatives with great disrespect for the sake of observing time. You see, Ocol is an educated man, and so he cares much about his time, and this becomes something which bring very much troubles upon himself, and as a result also he mistreats those who surround him just on the cause of maybe keeping time. On the section 8, on the 8th part of the poem, you can see Lawino expresses her attitude towards Christianity and those who preach and love it. She blames the preachers of Christianity for martyring their converts. She shows that the missionaries are wrong in their ways of thinking, education, sexual morality, and naming individuals. She blames the preachers for preaching good things but practicing things contrary to Christianity. She also thinks that it is better to join with her poor people in the area where meaningful and relevant song and cultural activities are being performed. So she despises Christianity religion, as those who preach it, they live opposite to the preaching. They preach about water, but they drink wine. But when we go forward on the section 9, that is 9th part of the poem, you can see is a continuation of criticism given against the preachers and Christianity doctrines, those who have embraced Christianity. Lawino criticizes the preachers for failing to answer the question concerning Christianity. She also questions Christianity doctrines of creation, virgin birth, and the Eucharistic. So you can see like she questions them, how would a virgin maybe get to have a child? That's Jesus Christ. How was he born? You see, the Christians fail to answer the question, and so she continues insulting them that they even don't know what they are worshipping and the things which they have been indoctrinated with. You go to section 10, you can see Lawino tells us how Ocol despises the traditional medicine, hygiene, food, and child upbringing. So you can see like her husband is despising the things which has brought him up, the things which they made him who he is right now. So Lawino believes that like European medicines, some are calling medicine work and some do not. She compares her belief in traditional spirits and charms to Ocol's belief of rosaries, angels, and power of prayer. So she just compares that like there are other medicines in African traditions which heal and others don't, and also even that's just like in Westernized medicines whereby others treat and others don't. So she thinks like it is the very same thing. So for the things which don't work on African traditions, she compares them with something like prayers, Holy Spirit, and such kind of things. And also if you go to the next part, that is 11th part, section 11, Lawino attacks the local leaders of two rival parties, her husband, that is Ocol, and his brother, that is Lawino's brother-in-law. The leaders talk about independence, unity, and peace, only to bring more conflicts and disunity even within the family, because these people have failed to unite in the family, but they go out to the community and tell people to unite and to find freedom and to fight for freedom. She also attacks the folly of these leaders engaging in politics, conflicts, and forgetting the suffering of the people under the poverty, ignorance, and diseases. If you go to 12th part, that is section 12, it exposes the irrelevance and effects of Western education. Lawino asks Ocol of what use for him are the books as a person. So why are you reading the books for? If the knowledge in the you are attaining, or maybe if the knowledge in them cannot help to create a better society. According to her, the books have killed Ocol as a man. Western education has brought him to the point where he belongs neither to European culture nor to African culture. So in this part, those things are being revealed, and when you go forward again onto part 13, section 13, you can see Lawino advises Ocol on how to regain his manhood. According to her, he can get back his manhood by throwing away all the symbols of hypocrisy and all the symbols of in section 13, you can see Lawino advises Ocol on how to regain his manhood. According to her, he can only gain back his manhood by throwing away all the symbols of hypocrisy, and also by begging forgiveness of the elders and offering traditional sacrifices using traditional doctors and medicine, so he may regain his manhood. He sees like European Western education has killed him, has killed his manhood, and so he must do anything he can to regain back his manhood. This book, as I've already told you, that it is very long. It is a very long poem, and so it have also some number of characters in it, and those very basic characters are only 3. That is Lawino, Ocol, and Clementine. Lawino, if shall be explained, she is an African woman who lacks formal education and who is not converted to Christianity, and also a strong upholder of African tradition, good or bad. She holds all the African tradition culture. She is very proud of her womanly and cultural accomplishment. She sees like she is such an accomplished woman. She despises all the new ways, good or bad, being followed by her husband, Ocol. She is responsible mother who loves and cares for her children. Like any other person, she is also a little jealous but most of her bitterness to her rival, that is Clementine. Just like other women, she is a little jealous to Clementine, who is a concubine of her husband. So this is provoked by her appearance in page 24 in the book, if you shall get a chance to read. But discussing about Ocol, you can see like he is an African man who has gotten Western education, that's a university education. He imitates the white men in everything and is proud and upholds all Western ways, good or bad, all Western ways of life, good ways and bad ways. He despises all traditional ways of life, even all traditional ways of life, those which are good and those which are bad. Lawino and her relatives are also ignored by him. His own relatives and all black people have been segregated, and maybe we can say like he despises them, even the ways of life, although they are the one who we can say taken care of him until he is how he is right now. And also he is ignorant. Why are we saying that he is ignorant? Because he used to abuse her wife, that is Lawino, by not knowing English. That is ignorance. Doing foolish things is referred to be ignorance to a particular person who is performing them. So he is always insecure, unhappy, and restless because of his obsession with time. He is a hypocritical political leader who preaches unity, and at the same time he is in conflict with his brother who belongs to another political party. So you can see this person, that is Ocol, he is a politician of the P political party, while his brother is in UPC political party. And the last main character in this poem, you can see we have Clementine. She's such a modern girl. She's Ocol's girlfriend. She's Ocol's girlfriend. She's maybe me. I like to refer her as a concubine of Ocol. And also she is Westernized woman who symbolizes Western fashions and behavior of woman. She imitates the white woman in their ways, she is fond of artificial ways of life. She is also arrogant person. This can be proven in page 27 of the book of the Song of Lawino and Ocol. When turning to themes which has been presented in this book, you can see like this poem has following themes which may be mentioned as African traditions. In African traditions, you can get African marriage, you can get African witchcraft and the superstition, issues of African traditional foods, and very many other, without forgetting dressing style. And also there is a theme of protest. You can see in the poem, Lawino is protesting against all the insults, all the mistreatments she receives from her husband. Also, she protests against assimilation of culture. She believes that everyone shall remain and uphold his traditional culture. So protest is shown through Lawino, and conflict is another theme which may easily and simply be found in this poem. Conflict can be seen. There is a personal conflict, intrapersonal conflict, and other kinds of conflicts. For example, you can see we have family conflict between Lawino and Ocol. They are a husband and a wife who are in conflict, and the very main cause of conflict is difference in ideologies. While the husband believes in cultural assimilation, the wife believes in upholding the African traditional culture. Also, there is a theme of disunity. Disunity can be seen between Ocol and his brother, who failed to unite to fight for their freedom, but they collide. They are in conflict, and they operate in two different counterpart political parts. And also the issue of alienation can be seen as Ocol is a very good symbol, or maybe a very good representative of those Africans who have alienated their culture and embraced the Western culture. So the issue of alienation in this poem can be seen, and specifically on cultural alienation. And also there is hypocrisy. Hypocrisy can be seen through Ocol, who preaches unity, but he even failed to unite with his relatives in his family. But also we have the theme of betrayal. Betrayal can be seen as Ocol has betrayed his African culture, ways of life, and he despises all the good and bad of African culture. But also there is a theme of position of woman. As you can see in this book, a woman has been portrayed as a tool for entertainment, as can be seen Clementine presented to be a tool for entertainment to Ocol. A woman has been portrayed as a person with film stand. As you can see, Lawino has been portrayed to have film stand on her belief. And also women has been portrayed as family carers. As you can see, Lawino is such a responsible woman who cares her family, who takes care to her children. And also position of woman in this poem has been shown as they are traditionalists, as Lawino has been portrayed upholding African tradition. Those are just a few themes which I have presented to you. Let me tell you that there are other very many themes in the book. And coming maybe to another part of analysis, let's provide maybe something very important to note, that like from the beginning of the book, the very main theme in this book, it is conflict between traditionalists and we can see modernists. And at the end of this book, you can see like the conflict between these two sides have not yet been resolved. Whether the conflicts will be solved or not, it depends on the kind of reaction Ocol will show to Lawino advice on how to recover his lost manhood. And unfortunately, Ocol seems to reject her advice, because in the introduction of Song of Ocol, Ocol attacks Lawino and some of her ways and strongly defend his. So there is a song of Lawino and there is a song of Ocol. In the song of Ocol, Ocol opposes all the things which has been advised by her by his wife, that is Lawino. So until the end of this book, the conflict has not yet been solved. Just note that on your head, as when the song of Ocol begins. As you can see, at first part there is a song of Lawino and then song of Ocol. When they just on the beginning of song of Ocol, you can see Ocol attacks Lawino and some of her ways of life, and strongly defends his ways of life, and he sees like the life he is living is better and shall be copied by any African person, including his wife. That was analysis of the book or of the poem of Song of Lawino and Ocol. Please don't forget to